This thing said I'm live, and now it's been several seconds. Of course, it always takes a minute to actually start. Okay, hello, adventure builders. This thing should be working by now. Is anybody there? Nobody's here yet. I got my fan on here, just cooling off, trying to chill out. Today was a bit of a rest day for me because, a few weeks ago I was talking about how I strained my calf, and I got that fixed, doing exercises and stretching and rubbing it out and everything. But because I was kind of limping around on that leg for a while, my knee was sore. So this week my knee's still been sore, but today I just was like, let me just stay off my knee, at least not be running around. So it's actually feeling pretty good now. I think my legs are getting close to back to 100%. B, what up, Jaimie? How's it going, man? Okay. So I have a story to tell today. It's just something that happened the other day. Lieutenant Dan's legs. Oh, I love you guys' names. All right. So the other day, my friend, this is the guy who came here. This is my adventure builder friend, like my best friend. The guy who came here, used to watch my videos. I think he still watches them, but he doesn't need to now because now he's my neighbor. Anyway, he messages me. He lives like right over there. He messages me. He's like, I gotta go to town. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And he's driving this huge 100 horsepower boat. It doesn't matter why. It's not his boat. It's not the usual boat he drives. But he's like, I got this monster to drive today. It'd be nice to have someone to come with me because it's a pain to park and the thing's just a huge. And it's like, anyway. So, like, all right, yeah, let's go. So. He comes over, picks me up at the beach, and I hop in the boat. And he's like, you want to see how fast it goes? And he's like, brr, and it's like so fast. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to get used to that because I don't go that fast. I got my little 1 horsepower. Anyway, so we're driving over to, get some gas, and partway over to the gas station, which is just like a little store on the side of the water where they sell a bunch of stuff. One of the things is gas, also food and stuff like that. It's just this little store. Anyway, we're almost there, and the runs out of gas. Not all of the gas. He has a couple different gas tanks, but so one is empty, and that one's attached at the moment. So he's got to switch to the one that's full, and then we'll fill up. There's kind of good timing because then we can fill up the other one, which is now empty. So anyway, he switches to gas tanks, and this whole time, I'm just kind of like half paying attention, kind of not dozing off, but just kind of daydreaming. I'm like, I don't need to know about this gasoline operation. But anyway, he's switching gas tanks, and he's like, do I need to close or open the little vent hole or whatever? And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I heard him say that. It's an important detail. But anyway, I was just kind of spacing out. I'm like, he's got it figured out. He'll get it. And then, he gets the gas tanks changed, and then he goes to start the motor. And of course, at this point, it's got air sucked through the motor because it ran out of gas, and it kept running until air sucked through the motor. So, it doesn't just start. You got to pump this little pump, get like gas to get into the motor. Except the fuel line is like way longer than it needs to be because the motor's way back there, and it goes under the boat and through all this stuff up to where the gas tank is. And so he's pumping for a while. Then this lady on the shore comes out with a megaphone. Are you guys okay? Do you need help? Like literally with a megaphone. I'm not exaggerating. She has a megaphone. This is a pretty funny lady. And we're like, no, we're fine. And then I say to my friend, like, yeah, that's why I always drive a little further out from the shore, just in case I have to stop for some reason. Because if you start getting close into people's houses, they start coming out and being like, what's going on? Anyway, so he gets the motor started again, pumps all the gas, gets it going. All right, so he gets the motor started again. So we drive over to where we fill up the gas. And so he gets some gas in the empty gas tank and gets a few snacks. And he gives me a snack, and I'm like, yo, man, you don't got to give me snacks, but I will take it. So then we take off, and we drive into town. So in this 100 horsepower boat, we're not driving with the full 100 horsepower. It's a little excessive. Plus, it uses tons of gas if you go full speed. Anyway, we're going at a reasonable pace to get to town, but still, it's a pretty fast trip. And then we get there, we have a bunch of stuff we have to do. And while I was there, I was like, this is one of the reasons I agreed to go. I was like, hey, man, if I go, I mean, first I can help him carry. He has to pick up a bunch of stuff. I can help him carry and help him park the boat, whatever. But I can also get paint because I've got these kayaks I'm working on, and I'm gonna need to paint them. So I can go get some paint in town. And I want to hang out with my friend. We can go get some pizza. So we're doing all this stuff. We go to various stores and pick up the stuff he needs to pick up. And I go into this one place. I always get some food when I'm in town, whatever I think I might be low on or whatever. I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, let me get an extra cheese. I got a cheese in my fridge there. Got a couple cheeses because I just got an extra one. Anyway, so we're picking up all the stuff, and I pick up blue and white paint for my first kayak, and I have a couple other colors of paint here. Did I pick up blue and white? Yeah, blue and white. Anyway, so finally we get everything done, and we get everything in the boat, and we take off. We also got pizza while we were there, which was delicious. And we each got like a big pizza so we could take it with us. So we left with half our pizzas too. Anyway, so we get back in the boat and we take off and we're driving home. And he smokes, so he's like, hey, I haven't had a cigarette like all day. Can you drive? So I'm driving this big monster boat, and he's rolling a cigarette, and we're driving for a while, and then after a while he starts steering when we're like halfway back, and he's like, what's that over there? And he's asking me the different islands. Some of them he knows and some he doesn't, so he's just getting details because I know what all the islands are and everything. He's like, what's that one way out there? And I was like, oh, that's the Zapatillas. There's two of them out there. They're just these big beaches, basically. There's some trees in the middle, but it's like these two islands kind of like out toward the Caribbean Ocean a little bit, a few miles. And it's just supposed to be the most beautiful beaches all the way around these two islands. And he's like, have you ever been there? I'm like, nah, I've never been there. He's like, you've been here for like 10 years. You've never been to the most beautiful beach? He's like, I've been here for a couple of years. I haven't been there either. Well, let's go. And I'm like, all right, let's go. So we just take a left and start driving out to these beach islands. And they're a few miles out. And it gets a little wavy out there, but it's fine. These big monster boats, they're really, I don't know, they're not good in waves, man. They're just like bam, bam, bam. I like catamarans much more. They just slide right through the waves. But anyway, it's fine. So we get out to this beach, and at first we're like, well, how do we park? And so I'm like, well, let's park on the protected side because the waves are coming in that way. So we'll park on the other side where the waves aren't coming in. There's a little bit of waves there. So we pull up right on the beach, but there's still, kind of more waves than we'd want, and the boat's going to get shoved up on the beach. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just pull the boat out a bit and throw the anchor. So we do that. We just anchor the boat a little bit off the beach, jump in the water, swim to the beach, and we're just frolicking like a couple of, I don't know, dudes who have nothing better to do, hanging out at the beach, walking around. We weren't holding hands or anything. Wasn't that frolicky. But just hanging out with my best friend, just chilling at the beach, swam around some, and finally we're like, all right, let's get out of here and go home. So we swim back out to the boat, get back out. By this time, we worked up a bit of an appetite because we've been swimming around and running around on this beach and stuff, and we each have half a pizza, and I also got a gallon of water while I was in town, so I had like half a gallon of water left, and I'm like, oh, this is excellent. I got pizza and water. And let's go, man. So we start driving back. And a couple miles later, the boat runs out of gas again. And he's like, wow, that actually got farther than I was expecting. We weren't going super fast or anything, kind of conserving gas. We got all the way to town and back and went out to this beach. It's not bad for a tank of gas, right? So he goes to swap out the gas tanks, and it's like under one of the chairs, and you open the thing and disconnects the gas tank and pulls the gas tank out, and the gas tank is like collapsed. You know, like it had all the air sucked out of it. It was just like crumpled up. It was pretty funny. And I see that, I'm just like, wow, that was some serious air pressure there. But anyway, he puts the full tank of gas in there. And someone who knows boats already knows what's going on here. But I'm just eating my pizza and like spacing out. And so he switches the gas tanks. And then he goes back to the back of the boat and he's like, all right, since I let the gas run out, I need to pump the little hand pump to get the gas back into the motor. And, you know, he doesn't have a ton of experience because the motor he has is just this little motor where you put the gas in the top of the motor. It doesn't have this hand pump or anything. It's just a really simple thing. So, and he's not used to driving this, you know, monster boat that's not even his. So anyway, so he's back there pumping the gas and pumping the gas and pumping the gas and pumping the gas. And, you know, this goes on for like 20 minutes. He's trying to start the motor and like nothing. It's just nothing, right? And so I'm still sitting there kind of chilling, being like, it's starting to get a little late. And I'm like, well, what time is it? And he's like, checks his thing. He's like 5:30. So I'm like, all right, we still got like over an hour before it gets dark. Now, we happen to be on the ocean side of all the islands, which means we could get swept out into the Caribbean Sea if we don't get out of here, but we still got plenty of time, right? So he's trying to get this motor started, and he's like, man, I don't know what's going on. The pump doesn't feel right, and the gas doesn't. And then he takes off the lid to the motor, and he's looking in the fuel filter, and he's like taking stuff apart and putting it back together. And then it's like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, wow, 6 o'clock. The sun goes down before 7. Like, it'll be dark. By 7, it's dark. We got to get out of here. And we still have, like, 20 minutes of driving to get home. And we don't have we have, like, one little flashlight. We're not prepared for this at all. So we're out here just floating in the water, slowly blowing out to the Caribbean Sea. And I'm like, you know how you hear those stories about those fishermen who get blown out to sea? And he's like, yeah. So he's still working on the motor. At this point, I'm starting to get interested. I'm like, all right, I can't just sit here spacing out, eating my pizza, just like half stoned on just life. So I start paying attention, and I'm like, all right, what's going on here? And he's like disconnecting things and plugging them back together. And I'm like, all right, put everything back together. Let's figure out what the problem is. And I'm like, when I was listening to you, you were saying that the fuel pump didn't feel right. Like there wasn't fuel getting into the motor, right? And he's like, well, yeah, I don't know, maybe, but let me check this. And I'm like, wait, let's just check one thing at a time. Let's check the fuel pump first. Because if the gas isn't even getting to the motor through the pump, then none of this other stuff's gonna matter. So let's make sure that works. So we disconnect the fuel pump, and I stick my thumb on the end of the thing, and I'm pushing and doing the fuel pump, and that should make suction on my thumb, right? And I'm like, nothing, right? I'm like, maybe it's not suction. It should have a fair amount of suction. Like, I should be able to notice. And he's like, give me that. So he takes the tube and sticks it in his mouth. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. Gasoline in tubes in your mouth. I know people do siphoning, but yeah, I resist that if at all possible. Anyway, he sticks the tube in his mouth, and I'm like squeezing the thing, and I can see his cheeks going puffing out and in. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. The pump should just be sucking. It shouldn't be puffing your cheeks out. It should just be like sucking the air out of your mouth. That means there's something wrong with the pump. The pump is not, it should be only going one way, but it's going both ways. It's like sucking the fuel and then pushing it back, so it's not actually going anywhere. And he's like, oh crap. You know what it is? You know that gas tank that was collapsed from all the air pressure, the motor was sucking the fuel out, sucked so hard it collapsed that gas tank. And all that pressure going back, it blew out the one-way valve in the pump. And I'm just like, oh, that's totally what happened. Crap! So now we have to figure out how to get gas from this gas tank into this motor with no fuel pump. Like no like manual little pump. It's got this like rubber little pump, right? And at this point, I wouldn't say we're panicking, but like, you know that feeling like just before it's getting dark, like in the evening when it's like, oh wow, yeah, now it's gonna be dark soon. You know, like a few clouds came by and now we can't even tell where the sun is, and it's like, okay, it's gonna be dark soon. So I'm like, okay, we gotta get this going. So I'm like, just give me the fuel line and let's pour gas into it very carefully. Which even when you do very carefully, gets gasoline everywhere. But we managed to start getting some gasoline into this fuel pipe, into this fuel line, right? But the problem is it didn't work well enough to get the damn motor started. Plus now there's gasoline everywhere. And then I'm like, okay, crap. We gotta connect the fuel line to the gas tank in some airtight way, and then we can squeeze the gas tank to get it going, and if we can hold it up high, it'll have some gravity. And I'm like, okay, the gas line that has the airtight seal, you know, the one that clicks in and can that go up high? And he's like, no. It goes from the motor under the hull, like inside the hull of the boat, under the floor, and it comes up right where the gas tank is, and there's like that much like hose coming out, just enough to connect to the gas tank. So I'm like, oh crap, so we can't lift it up and have gravity feeding it. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Connect the gas. Okay, let me just do something. So I'm like, you stay back there by the motor and just pay attention for a second. So I take the gas tank, connect it to the fuel line, close the air valve, which is like what you should not be doing, because that was what caused the problem in the first place. Because way back at the beginning of the story, remember I said he was like, do I open or close the air valve? He left the air valve closed so the air could not get into the gas tank when the gas was getting sucked out, and that's what caused all the pressure and caused all the problems. Anyway, I'm like, all right, connect the gas tank, let me turn the little air valve closed, so now it's airtight. And I'm gonna stand on it. At this point, the other end of the gas line isn't even connected to the motor, it's just out. And I'm just like, just check if gas is coming out. So I stand on the gas tank, he's like, whoa, gas starts coming out. I'm like, okay, we got it. We got to figure out how to connect that to the thing, except that doesn't connect to that. So we got to connect to this other thing that goes through another thing. Anyway, there were enough connections that we could connect it. So it went to the motor. And so we got all that connected. And I'm like putting the last pieces of that together. And he's like, oh crap, there's gasoline everywhere right now. So he's like trying to mop up gasoline. And I'm just like, okay, if for some reason this all bursts into flames, just jump in the water. We're not going to burn to death in like half a second. So if there's instantly, we jump in the water. Because I got like gas all over my hands. We're covered in freaking gasoline. It's all over the floor. So he's like mopping it up, trying to get rid of this gasoline. And and I'm like, all right, we don't have a lot of time now though. We got to get this motor started like now, like right now, or we're not going to make it home. Like we're going to be sitting here floating in the dark, just floating out into the Caribbean Sea. We need to get this motor started now while we can still see. So I'm like, we just got to risk it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stand on the gas tank, and we'll give it a few seconds. Look, and at the cover is still off the motor, and I'm like, just look in the fuel filter to see if fuel is going through it. So I stand on the gas tank. And he's like, yeah, I can see fuel coming in, and I'm like, all right, start her up. I'm like, okay, that's it. Don't stop for anything. So I'm like, start driving. And I go back there and I grab the cover for the motor, and I'm putting that on and connecting it while he's starting to drive. And I'm like, oh crap. We connected the fuel line differently than it was before. Does it even have enough slack for the motor to turn? And it has just enough slack that the motor can still turn and everything. So we start hauling ass out of there. And again, he's like, dude, I need a cigarette. Oh my God. So I'm driving this thing, not full speed, because 100 horsepower is just excessive. But we're hauling butt at this point. And it's starting to get dark, and I'm going pretty close to full speed. And he's up in the front rolling cigarettes, and the wind is just he's just like hiding, trying to like light his cigarette. Anyway, then I come up to this area that I know of where there's just all this stuff, like all these little buoys floating in the water at the bottom of the island. I don't know what they are. It's like a seaweed farm or something. Anyway, I'm like, oh crap. So I gotta like weave around these things and kind of pay attention. Wacky tobacco. I'm not even gonna say anything. So I'm like, okay, if we get close enough to shore, there are no more of these little buoys in the water. But if I stay far enough from shore, we're still in deep enough water that we're not going to hit the bottom. So I'm like trying to thread through this thing, and we got waves moving the boat around. This is a boat I'm not used to at all. And it's getting dark, like fast at this point. And I'm like, I can't go slow. So I'm hauling ass through. I didn't slow down at all. I'm just like, we just got to go through. And so we get around the corner, and we get to the point where it's like, okay, now we just got to head north, but there's all these reefs in the way. And so I'm driving, and he gets out his phone. He's like, I'll look at Google Maps, because Google Satellite View, you can see where the reefs are. So he starts driving, and I end up sitting on the front of the boat just looking. Now I can't see that much because it's like pretty dark at this point. Like it's very dark, but I can see a little bit. And I'm the last emergency, like we're about to hit something, turn. But he's like navigating by his phone with Google satellite images, like trying to weave through these shallow reefs, and the water is pretty shallow. It's pretty low tide at that point. So he's like, oh crap, I gotta pull up the motor. So he's pulling up the motor, and we're going a little slower, and I'm like, dude, we can't slow down. We got no time. We gotta go. So he's like, all right, screw it. And we're just flying over all these reefs and weaving around them. We didn't hit anything. We were anyway. So finally I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I know that house. That's where my kids' friends live, and from here it's just a few more miles. So we just haul ass, and we can kind of see the silhouettes. Like at this point, everything is just black. I can see black silhouettes, and I'm like, okay, that one there is my island, right? And he's like, yeah, I think that one right there. So we head straight for it, and we pull up to my beach with like barely enough light for me to grab all my crap, my 2 cans of paint, my bag of food, and whatever little tool stuff I got while I was there. I got some extra paint rollers and stuff. And my pizza was gone at that point. So I hop off the boat with all my stuff, and I shove him out, and he takes off, and I'm just like stumbling through the dark up this little path from my beach. And then I get to my house, and everything's good. And I message him, you got back, right? And he's like, yeah, I made it. So that was our adventure. And one thing that kept popping into my head was, man, details are so important. Details are really important. And this is something that I learned when I first moved off grid, like way back when I moved off grid in Vermont. One of the first lessons I learned, like the first big lesson, and maybe I didn't even learn it then, but it was like highly reinforced during this point of time, was don't screw up. Don't screw up. And I used to say that to myself all the time when I was like working on things or doing things. Don't make a mistake. Don't screw up. Don't screw up. Don't screw up. Because like you make one little screw up, like you leave the valve closed on the gas. Just a little detail at the beginning of the day. And then like the end of the day, you're almost blown out to the Caribbean Ocean where you die. I mean, we wouldn't have died. He had a phone with them. We could have called for emergency help or whatever of some kind. I don't know who's going to come save us though. But anyway, the point is, like when you're living off grid and relying on yourself, like you really got to make sure you don't screw up. Like you got to pay attention to all those details as you go. You can't let things slip by that are going to come bite you in the ass later. So anyway, totally fun adventure either way. But yeah, that lesson of don't screw up. Don't screw up. That's a really good one and a really important one. Whenever you're in a situation where you have no safety net, no backup. If you live in a city, there's always people around. There's always help if you need it. But when you're out in the wilderness, don't screw up, man. Don't screw up. You're out on a camping trip and you've hiked 4 days into the wilderness and you got to hike 4 days to get back. And don't screw up. Don't screw up, man. Don't break a leg. Don't lose all your food. Don't let the bears get in your tent, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that was a pretty fun day. And yeah. Well, I guess that's the end of that story. What else has been going on around here? I made the top of my first kayak this morning. So I've been working on these kayak molds, and I have the top of a kayak mold and the bottom of a kayak mold that I've been kind of working on in my free time for the last month or something. But I finally made fiberglassed the second piece of the first kayak. So tomorrow I should be able to trim them and sand them and put them together. And then I got to take them back apart and, paint everything and, make it all nice. But tomorrow I get to check if they actually fit, the top and the bottom. I'm hoping they fit. They should fit. I think I did it right, but we'll see. Anyway, besides that, I was resting my knee a little bit today. I think my legs are almost back to 100%. Feeling pretty good about that. Although rest days always drive me a little crazy because I get anxious and I want to do stuff. But yeah, I was occupied doing some fiberglass today, so that was good. Anyway, let's see what you guys are talking about. What's going on in the world of adventure builders? Let's see. What's up, B? Lieutenant Dan's legs. Mr. Landfill, how's everyone? Daniel says chill. Are you telling me to chill? I don't know. How's it going? So happy to catch it. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, things are going pretty good. Phil, let's see. Good evening. Oh no, scary. Yeah, JJ's fourth phone. It was a little bit scary at one point when we were we were several miles offshore, just like that. There's the Caribbean Ocean, and that's the direction the wind is blowing us. And yeah, when it was getting dark, yeah, it was a little scary. I was a little like, yeah, this. A lot of people have been in this situation before. And a few of them have not gotten out of it okay. A few of them have actually been blown out to sea, and things did not go well after that. And yeah, if it got dark, I hope we would have figured something out. I mean, I would have paddled us back if I had to, but I don't know. Whatever, we figured it out. But yeah, there was some excitement there. Hello, Jaimie, and other like-minded people. Hope your Sunday is going great. Oh, yeah, it's Sunday, right. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. Yep, you might be my only pick for someone to have in an emergency. That's funny. Wacky tobacco. Oh, my God, did you make it? Yes, we made it. Hello, Jaimie. Been watching you for years. First time catching you live. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, Tanya Abatello. Do you have children? Is it Mother's Day for you today? Let's see. Oh, I just reloaded the comments. Apparently they weren't going. Okay, how long ago was this? Oh, this adventure I just did with the boat. I don't know, 3 days ago. I almost made a live right after we got back about it. But I was like, I'll save this for Sunday. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday that we did that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, 4 days ago. Cool story. You in jail? No, I'm not in jail. I'm just chilling in my house. Kind of. The reason I'm in this particular spot is because there's a fan right here. Oh man, that is some nice stuff right there. Yeah, this is my little low power fan. It's just like a little computer CPU fan. Well, a little bigger than that, but that kind of fan. Oh, it's so nice. Just a little breeze. Let's see. How long ago was this? Yeah. No, I'm not in jail. Don't screw up. Yes, Tanya. That's such an important one. I've said that in my head so many times when I've been in a situation where if I screw up, I could really cause myself some problems. Like building this house when I was, standing on the third floor, building the roof, and then even when I was climbing above that to build the roof, that was one of my main thoughts was do not screw up, do not fall off this roof, do not fall. Yeah. Let's see. Quite a story. Show us your place, please. Well, it's all dark right now. I mean, there's not much I could show you. um, there's one of my walls. I love these walls, like the waffle on the inside. There's my adventure builder symbol. Well, if you watch my videos, you see my place, but yeah, it's not as exciting to show it in the dark. Look, if I turn off my little light here, look at that. There's my place. Anyway. Oh, what's going on? Let's see. Show us your place, please. Yeah. Lovely rat, not funny. What did lovely rat say? I don't know. Maybe that got removed. Do you live under a bridge? WTF? Yes, I live under a 4-story bridge that's called a house. You may not have heard of them if you live in a place that just has bridges, but it's like the house is like it's like a bridge, but the bridge kind of goes in all directions and there's these walls. So when you're inside the bridge, which is called a house, you're like protected from all sides from the rain and the elements. So just for those bridge trolls who don't know what a house is. Working for a second decade as a software developer, I've seen a lot of examples where small details matter. Managers don't pay attention to those, and the whole projects go down in the end. Yeah, so often. Like, and that's one of the reasons. I mean, there's several reasons for this. But that's one of the reasons I often work alone. Because if I'm working on things by myself, I pay attention to every detail that needs to be paid attention to. And anytime I'm working with other people, I find I spend a lot of time making sure other people take care of the details they need to take care of. Until I work with someone enough and they're reliable enough that I can just trust them. But like the number of people I've known in my life who I could trust to take care of the details is very small. Most people just let all kinds of things go. And it's the kind of thing where if you are aware of this, you'll watch them and just be like, whoa, that's a tiny detail, but that is gonna bite you in the ass 6 hours from now. You should take care of that. And like people will be like, oh, it's just a little thing, who cares? And then like 6 hours later, they're like, boy, I sure wish I took care of that little thing back then. Saved myself like 8 hours of trying to fix what. Yeah, it's one of the advantages of working by yourself. You can make sure all the details are taken care of as you go. A little dark for a tour. Yeah, it is definitely a little dark for a tour of my house right now. I don't feel like an adventure builder. I am so lazy. Tyler Durden, you should get off your butt and be adventure buildy. Or do whatever you want. But I do highly recommend being adventure buildy. It's pretty awesome. Like one of the best things about like putting consistent effort into life is that you don't go to bed anxious, like feeling like you wasted the day. And I definitely notice like in days when I don't get much done, or I'm just not motivated, or it's rainy or something, and I just I'm just not on top of my business. I'll go to bed and I'll be like, I don't want to go to bed because I didn't get enough done today. I feel like I wasted the day, But like, man, putting effort into the day, I get into my bed, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm so toast. That was a good day, and I am out. Like no sleeping pills necessary. Not that I ever take sleeping pills, but. Jesus is king. Jesus, didn't that guy die already? Those kayaks forms look amazing, by the way. Happy Mother's Day, Super J. Whoa, well, thanks. I did not even know I was a mother. Oh, one cool thing that happened today. This actually happens kind of frequently, but I still appreciate it like every time because it's pretty awesome. What was I doing? I was piggybacking my 3-year-old just down the hill to my house from up there. We were just walking along, and she's on my back, and she says, "You're the best papa ever." And it's like, oh, it's the best. And I'm just like, thanks. And she's like, you are the best papa ever. Oh, it's awesome hearing that. Oh, let's see. Oh, those kayaks forms look amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the kayaks. Next stop, Cuba. Yeah, exactly. If it got dark and we kept getting blown out to sea, we could have ended up in Cuba. Well, we would have had to go pretty far north to get into Cuba. Yeah, we probably hit the Dominican Republic before we hit Cuba, or something along that chain of islands. But yeah, that would be a long way. Bro, I've been following you for years, Gonzalo Gonzalez. Thanks, man. I'll take that as a compliment. Let's see. Tanya says, yes, I have a son, and we watched your back when he was a kid. Yes, I have a son, and we watched your... Oh, and not your back. Sorry, I'm a little spaced out right now. Yes, I have a son, and we watched you back when he was a kid. Oh, that's awesome. That's super cool, man. Well, happy Mother's Day. I hope your son is good to you every day. That's one of those things about, Mother's Days and Father's Days and birthdays and holidays and things like that. I always feel like they're not really that important if you do a good job every day. Because like for instance, my daughter said to me today, my 3-year-old, she just goes, you're the best papa ever. Didn't need a special occasion. I just had to be a good papa that day. Now, I was piggybacking her at the time, which is she enjoyed, and she got me to run like a horse. So she was in pretty good mood. Anyway, yeah, yeah. All right, let's see. Wow, it got cold again up north. This is Eric. You must be in the cold place. Makes me wish I was in a tropical paradise sailing to work too. Oh, I love boating. Oh man, I love boating so much more than land travel. And I think I would enjoy land travel in more of a, post-apocalyptic kind of situation or just a lower population density. But like land travel with all the roads and the traffic and all the, what's that stuff called? Road rage and all that. Oh God, it's horrible. Oh, I hated driving. I liked driving up and down my mountain in Vermont. The crazy path I made that you could barely get up. That was fun. Anyway, got cold up again up north. It actually got really super hot here for like 3 days last week. It cooled off again though, which is nice. Tanya says you're an inspiration. Well, thank you. Bro sounds lonely. Do I sound lonely? Well, I'm not that lonely. I mean, I got 4 kids. They're not here right now. They're at their mom's house. But they were here, I don't know, a couple hours ago. I spend a lot of time with my kids, which is like, they're like my favorite people ever. The only thing I'm missing is, a lady friend. But other than that, I'm not too lonely. But yeah, it would be nice to have a lady friend. But like, anyone who doesn't have a lady friend could say that. Unless you don't want a lady friend. But anyway, that's not the point. You ever thinking of getting HVAC installed? What's HVAC? Is that the built-in vacuum cleaner thing that sucks into the wall, or is that like the AC thing? Wait, I don't know. Whatever it is, probably not. HVAC, high velocity air conditioning. Oh, I don't know. I never know what acronyms are. I never use acronyms because acronyms are always like, what's the word? Like job or like what is the word I'm looking for? Well, let's say just say job specific. Close enough. Acronyms are always specific to some area of study or a job or something like that. So if you are a cross-dimensional kind of person and you work in various different job sort of areas and stuff, then the acronyms end up being useless because there's like the same acronym means 8 different things in 8 different places. So yeah, I never use acronyms. Are you in a cave? No, I am in a bridge. Oh, I'm not going to get into that yet. No, this is my house. My house is made out of concrete. It's well, let me just give you a quick description. It's a round house. And it's a 41-foot diameter round house. So it's like 13-ish meter diameter. And then it's 2 stories tall of like cylinder, and then like another 2 stories of domed roof, which is amazing. The domed roof is amazing. I was laying on the floor earlier today, kind of resting, just staring up at the roof. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I built it all, and I wanted to make it out of concrete so termites wouldn't like it and stuff like that. It's a pretty sweet cave, though. Happy Mother's Day, Tanya. Lower the cam. I can't lower the freaking... Why, you want to see my nipples? Like, what are you going to look at? There's nothing to look at down here. I'm wearing shorts. I'm not naked. Why do you want to... Guthrie, Espinoza, why do you want to see down there? What is going on? All right. Thanks. Wait. Yeah, the walls look great, man. Yeah, I love these walls. I mean, I'm gonna at some point paint the walls. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is paint the walls like a beautiful outside scene. So maybe like a nice beach for part of the wall, and then like maybe some mountains in the background, and I'll make it so like when you're in the house and you look at the walls, it just looks like you're in this gorgeous scenery, which I am. But I can make the scenery event. I'll probably make some alien landscape, of course, with some, pterodactyls flying in the sky or something. And on the ceiling, this is just going to be like very like 8-year-old. I'll probably paint like outer space and planets and have glow in the dark stars and stuff. But we'll see when I get there. Let's see. Yeah, the walls are why it's too much darker, bro. Why it's too much darker, bro. Why that's a question. Why it's too much darker, bro. I don't know. You gotta fix that sentence. I'm not sure what that means. Watch his movie. Oh yeah, watch my movie. Lots of background, good story. Oh, thanks. And you get to see my house. My house is more finished now. I've the second floor mostly done. And I've done a bunch of landscaping outside, a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, if you watch my movie, the Adventure Builder movie, it shows me building the house. Vince says Trump and Biden are the same. Okay. Isabel 8 or 9, where he's on the East Coast time, I think. Yeah, I'm in Panama. It's like, well, let me see what time it is right now. Can I look at the time without screwing this up? Yeah, 7:49. So it's almost 8 o'clock here. It's definitely after dark. Let's see. Cool spot. I do like this. Oh, Eric says not Isabel. It's about Isabel 8 or 9. It's about 8 or 9 where he's. Yeah, it's almost 8 here. Old rich men that never lifted a brick or changed a tire. Oh, this is Trump and Biden are the same. Yeah, I don't know. I always do. I haven't been keeping up with U.S. politics at all. I mean, if I had to pick a political leaning, I would be anarchist. I always do things in the present so I don't screw future me. That is good thinking, Tanya. That is like the best thing about taking care of things now. Because like people who are like lazy and procrastinate and you skip all kinds of details, they're always getting to the future and being like, oh, why does everything not work out for me? I mean, every time I turn around, there's another problem. But like if you take care of things for your future, you get to be in a good future. You always got to plan ahead. Always do things that are going to take care of your own future. It's a really good idea. I agree with you about Johnny Sins. I agree with you. Oh, I agree with you, Johnny Sins. Sorry. Who's Johnny Sins? I don't know. What's up, Jaimie? Tony Simmons. Are you still using the 3D printer? Oh, I love that 3D printer. I haven't printed anything in a little bit. Although my kids are starting to ask me to print stuff again. And I have this robot, this spider tank that's like basically done. I just have to do a bit of electronics, hook up the radio control stuff. But I've just been working like sun up till sundown, which is why I'm doing this in the dark, But yeah, my 3D printer's right there and it's amazing. I love that thing. I just been working on other things, Where the gift your daughter made you. Oh, okay. My birthday was May 3rd, and my oldest daughter, made me this. I want to get it very carefully. You know what? I'm not even going to get it. I'm just going to take this over to it. I don't want to lose it. Oh. Okay. All right. Where's the reversal of camera? You keep changing what the things. All right. There we go. Oh, come on. Too bright. Oh, look at that. This little dragon. Isn't that awesome? That's so cool. And I have it up here in this little metal shelf because it's protected back here. Man, I'm so impressed by that. She did a good job on it. All right, wait, what's on that paper? Nothing important, right? Okay, good. All right. There we go. Let's see, where are we here? Come on, comment, show back up. There we go. Let's see. Why does I gotta scroll up back to where I was in the comments? Okay, where's the gift your daughter made you for your birthday? Yeah, I broke the sewing machines out and started making bags. Oh, that's cool. Anarchy Television. I like your name. Yeah, I gotta get my sewing. Well, I have my sewing machine out. It's in its own fancy table now, but I need to make some new clothes. I have like one pair of shorts left that I could wear in public. Well, I guess I could wear these ones in public, but they're starting to get too many holes in suspicious places. Hey man, ever felt the age catching up? I swear I was 20 yesterday. Like, do I feel old? Not really. I mean, and my hair's all gone on the top there, you know. But other than that, no. Although every time I get like some injury from running or something, it always crosses my mind. But then I'm like, wait. I've been thinking that since I was like 20. Like every time I get injured, ever since I was like 20 or something, I would think, oh, maybe I'm old now, and that's it. And then, you know, I do just some stretching and a bit of rehabilitation, and everything's good again. So yeah, so far I feel physically fine. I think my brains are still working. I hope. Would I know if my brains aren't working anymore? I don't know. WSG twin. I don't know what that means. Do you? Oh God, neither. All right, let's see. Prison. No, I'm not in prison. No, I'm not in prison. Yeah, I'm in my house. My house is concrete. I like concrete houses, particularly in a tropical place where it gets hot. Man, concrete is the coolest. And I don't mean like it's super cool. I mean it's much cooler being in a concrete house than like in a wood house or something. Mr. Landfill, go ahead and ban these trolls. That's totally fine. Yeah, people who just have dumb stuff to say, they're not worth having here. I've never felt the need to max out the views. I would rather have quality people than a lot of people. Towels faced and okay. Happy Mother's Day. I hope everything is going well with you. Yeah, things are going pretty well. Obviously not everything. There's always things going wrong, but more or less things are going pretty well. What's up from Texas? Hello, John Dillinger. I hope things are going well in Texas. You know, Texas was the state in the United States that I considered moving to before just leaving the country entirely. Texas or Alaska, just because the rules are, well, I've never been to Texas, but I've heard it's, you know, kind of more along the lines of what I would like to live in, but I don't actually know. Oh, HVAC is heating, ventilation, air conditioner. Yeah, I don't want. Oh, I definitely don't need heating because I'm in the tropics. When it gets down to like a cool temperature where people around here are wearing like winter coats, it's really funny seeing people wearing winter coats. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. It's so comfortable. So I definitely don't need any heating. And then air conditioner would be nice, but it's like I have a fan on right here, just a little fan, and I'm totally comfortable. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't even need air conditioning, just a fan. It doesn't get that hot here. It's always a temperature where with a fan it's comfortable. Even last week when it got really hot for a few days, it wasn't hot like Miami summer. And I've been in Miami in the summer, and like you open a door to go outside, it's just like, oh my god, it's just like walking into hot soup. It feels horrible. It doesn't get that hot here because I'm close enough to the equator that the temperatures doesn't fluctuate that much. It doesn't get that hot or that cold. How old are you? I'm 49. And a few days. Well, May 3rd, yeah, 49 in like a week or something. Acronyms are a human construct. It means nothing. Acronyms are something people do. Well, sometimes they're doing it to save time, which often ends up not saving time because someone won't know the acronym, and then it causes a bunch of wasted time. But often acronyms are used to make other people feel stupid. Like when you go to doctors are the worst for this. Like you go to a doctor or even like a scientist or a mechanic. Oh, lawyers are the worst. Oh, lawyers are the worst for this. And they won't talk in English. They'll just talk in all these stupid acronyms, like to try to make you feel like you have no idea what's going on because you're so dumb. You don't know anything. Oh, worst kind of experts ever are the ones who overcomplicate everything with silly nonsense just to make themselves feel like they know what's going on and no one else does. How cozy is your house right now? Any further improvements planned? Oh, I got tons of improvements planned. Yeah. My house is pretty cozy. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's particularly cozy though. I'm kind of an ogre. To me, I want like hard surfaces. It's one of the reasons I like concrete. I want it to be cool. I want it to be as cold as possible, basically. Like if I was in a cold place, I wouldn't want it to be as cold as possible. But in the tropics, I want it to be as cold as possible. So yeah, it's like concrete, hard surfaces. The second floor, however, is mahogany, and it's very, very kind of cozy, up there. And there's one spot which is my stretching room, and it has like a gymnastics mat down on it, so that's a pretty cozy room. And then yeah, there's some spots where there's like squishy mats and stuff. No rugs, nothing fuzzy. Oh my god, fuzzy would be horrible here. It's just too hot. Other people have fuzzy stuff, but I'm like hot all the time because I'm always doing stuff. Even when I'm in a cold climate, I'm always hot. Which in the past, when I had girlfriends when I was living in cold places, they always wanted to like snuggle all night because I'm like a heater. So I remember one of my girlfriends this was at university, and we'd always sleep in the same bed in the winter particularly, and she would just be like on top of me the whole night, and I would just be like so hot, and she'd be like, oh, this is so nice. And I'd have as much of myself sticking out as possible. Like I'd stick a leg out and an arm to just try to cool off. Anyway, I'm like always hot because I'm doing stuff. Is it glass reinforced concrete? No, it's not glass reinforced. It's rope reinforced, which Mr. Landfill said. Yeah, it's what is it? Polyethylene rope, I think. It's kind of rope, not polyester rope, because polyester reacts with the cement. I'm pretty sure it was polyethylene rope that does not react with the cement. So like right here inside this, there's a rope going vertically all the way up, and there's also a rope going through here all the way around the house. And there are also stainless steel cables on the outside of the house, like constraining it in a few spots, particularly right at the top of the cylinder part before the dome. There are like two stainless steel cables really tight up there, because the dome, I don't want it to come apart. Oh, let's see. In a cave. A parabola. It's not a parabola. The dome at the top is pretty spherical, I did build another concrete house that was parabolic right from the ground all the way up to the top. But this one is like a cylinder and then not a half sphere, but like maybe a third of a sphere on the top. But like whatever, what was her name? But like Tanya said, if you watch the Adventure Builder movie, which is a movie on my channel, it shows me building the whole thing. I mean, you could just skip to like 3/4 of the way through and you'll see the house. Oh, let's see, something behind you. Oh, well, that is the Adventure Builder symbol. That's actually the first Adventure Builder symbol I painted. No, it's the second one. The first one I painted on my old house, but that's the second one I painted. It's the first one I painted with a stencil that like got the right dimensions and everything. And it was just on this napkin, and I was just testing it, and I've had it for I don't know, like 20 years or something now. I don't know how long, maybe not that long, but a while. Let's see. I don't know what that means. Something behind you. Oh, there is another thing behind me. There. So this right here, this has got wheels. This is my back rubber. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like caster wheels, and I can like put my back against it and just be like, oh man, it's so good. Oh yeah. So if I spend all day like moving, oh man, it's like deep tissue, hardcore massage. Anyway, if I spend all day moving heavy stuff, my back's all tight, I'll do that, and it's pretty good. Not as good as one of those back rubbing girlfriends, but it's pretty good. I don't know what that means. Hi, hello. I don't know how to read that. Is that Russian? No. What language? That might be Russian. Just finished the VOD that dark exploration films. Well, wait. The vid? Is that supposed to say vid? I always get confused when there's typos. Just finished the VOD, which might mean vid, that dark exploration films made of your old place. It's amazing how time flies. Ah, yes, my old house. My old house gets more views now than it did when I was there. It's pretty funny. Just paint it in white. Like my whole house. I want to get a whitewash to do the outside. I want to paint the whole outside white. But on the inside, I do want to paint like a nice scene, and I want to get my kids to help and stuff, because my kids are real crafty and artsy. They're into building and drawing and painting and stuff. So like on all the flat panels of the walls, like these parts, I want to paint it something, I don't know, something that doesn't blend in with the background. So actually you see the grid of these everywhere. But then on all the panels back here, I want it to look like a nice outdoor scene of some prehistoric alien place or something. Let me just reload my comments. Yeah, these comments aren't loading for some reason. Let's see. Holy crap, I missed a lot. Put like your shirt on, please. Nope, I am in the tropics. It is too warm for shirts. Okay, that's where we're. Where are you? I'm in Panama. Yeah. How's the fishing? The fishing is all right. I wouldn't say it's great. It should be better, but there are a lot of people fishing around, so it's not bad. Styrofoam and concrete mix, lightweight cement construction, styrocrete. Yeah, this is styrocrete here, and this part here, and then these are all regular concrete here and here. So it's like the weight's supported by the regular concrete, and then these panels are all styrocrete, so the house doesn't weigh so much. I don't see you fish much. You don't see me do a lot of things, because like when I make videos, that's like a few minutes every other day or so. So yeah, you don't see a lot of things I do. Would you ever want to make a real tank-sized spider tank without scrap and built to last? Yes, definitely, 100% yes. Is this dude in prison? Yes, I am in prison. I let's see, I was fighting against the government because they were taxing, and it was, I did not agree with the taxes the government was levying against me and various other people in the town where I was living, and I staged a revolt. We had a revolution. We took back the town, and then SWAT teams came in, the FBI, and busted up the whole operation. And because I was the ringleader, they said, "Okay, look, if everyone testifies against this guy, you can all go free, but you got to pay your taxes." Um, but this ringleader, which is me, he has to go to prison. And I was like, "All right, everybody, just I'll take the fall for this." So I've been in prison for all of my life, for fighting against the tax code and start staging a revolt. No, I'm not in prison. I'm at my house. Anyway, I love how your island looks like an UGG boot. Maybe it does. Candy, put your shirt on, please. Usually it's not the ladies that want me to put my shirt on, but I guess so. Usually dudes are like, "Dude, put your shirt on, man. I'm straight. I don't want to see that." But yeah, I'm in the tropics. It's hot. I don't wear a shirt most of the time. Still talking about that crap. I don't know what you're saying. All right. Yeah, we're getting a lot of trolls today, aren't I? This is like the most trolls I've gotten on one of these lives. It's kind of crazy. And I don't even know what happened like a decade ago. Oh well. By the way, about 3D print material. It to pick easy to print ones, then dude, you need to work on your typing here. Then PETG is way better to be in the elements than PLA. PLA degrades quite fast outside. Need to try PETG before printing though. Yeah, and ABS is better for outside too. That dragon is awesome. She is talented. Yeah, I'm super impressed with her dragon. She makes all kinds of like little things. And does all kinds of drawings and stuff. I want to get her to like draw a comic book, or like, I don't know. She does all kinds of cool stuff. If it looks like a boot, you should call it Little Italy. My island doesn't actually look like a boot, so I don't know. Thank you for live streaming and interacting with us in the chat. You seem like an interesting fella. Well, thanks, John Dillinger. Your face like ghost movie actor. Your face like ghost movie actor? You mean Patrick Swayze? He was in Ghost? Or do you mean, I don't know. Anyway. A brain is a thing to enlighten. Great. There's an old guy with Parkinson's living off grid far north in Canada, so I'm sure you'll last for a good while longer. Maybe. This is why we can't have nice things, yeah. Amazon packages still reach that far. Yes, I actually have some Amazon packages coming in a week or so, something like that. I have to go pick them up. They don't come like to my door. But I did order some fiberglass, what do you call them? Fiberglass bits to mix in with concrete to, give reinforcement to concrete. And I also ordered some fiberglass mesh that's not for making like plastic fiberglass. You use it with concrete. So yeah, I want to play around with some concrete reinforcement stuff. Let's see. What time at your place? It's 8 o'clock. It should be right about 8 o'clock. 8:11 here right now. Try the carnivore diet and see what happens. I've actually been eating a lot of meat lately. That's the problem with the carnivore diet, or any specialized diet, is that it's so specialized, and particularly when you're living in a place like in the wilderness, off grid or whatever, and there isn't a store right down the street where you can get whatever you want anytime you want all the time. It's kind of valuable to be able to eat lots of different foods, So if I went on a carnivore diet, I would be having to get food more often just to make sure I always have meat and, I guess, meat and eggs or whatever. just to make sure I always have that stuff. Um, but some days I want to do something. Like I want to work on something, and I don't want to have to constantly keep going to get stuff. Yeah, I could get a giant freezer and just stuff it with a whole cow or whatever. But I don't know. I think kind of the way I think about all these diets is, if I had to pick one of those funny diets, I'd probably pick the carnivore diet because I think that would probably be good. But I think it's really valuable to be able to eat lots of different kinds of foods, because then you're more adaptable to different situations. So, like anyone who's stuck on a specific diet, they're also limiting what they can do with their life, like where they can go and what food you're willing to eat largely defines what you can do with your life in a lot of situations. The same principle that is used for ground heating would also work for cooling. Well, yeah, I'm sitting on the concrete floor, and it's kind of amazing. I don't know, there's all kinds of cooling things I could do, but it's actually quite comfortable here if I just have a fan on. So yeah, the cooling hasn't been a problem. Now, if global warming cranks it up a few degrees, I may change my mind. But yeah, I don't know what that means or that. Messi or Ronaldo? I don't know. I don't watch sports. Yesterday, for the briefest of moments, I did not know if I was leaving or if I had just arrived. It felt kind of like deja vu. Leaving or just arriving where? Very interesting. Not enough cattle on his island to be a carnivore. Well, I do have a bunch of land on one of the main islands near here. I could definitely get cows and pigs and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, at the moment it's just maybe when my kids get older and they can help more with that kind of stuff, or if I meet a lady friend and she can help with that stuff, I can kind of do more of that kind of stuff. But right now it's basically me doing like all the work, so I have to kind of pick which things I work on stuff. Let's see. It's the wood. You can't get the wood. I can definitely get the wood. That is not a problem at all. Have you done a stretching video, brother man? Not really. No, maybe I should. I do stretches like most evenings. Like as soon as I get off this, I'll go over and do some stretching. Maybe I should share those ones, because the stretching I do every evening kind of makes it so I can work all day lifting heavy things, or one of the hardest things on my back that I've found is like doing fiberglass, because it's so much leaning over, and you can't lean on the fiberglass that you're working on. So it's a lot of leaning over, not touching it, and just like holding yourself up with your back and then reaching over and like, moving around all these rollers and stuff. That's the thing that gets my back the tightest, is doing fiberglass. Unless I'm doing a wall or something, but it's always something where I have to lean over and reach. And then second would probably be like carrying concrete around, and then like digging. But anyway, I do some stretches in the evening, so that the next morning I get up and I'm not just all tight. It just keeps me in good shape. So I don't have to like do an hour of warming up every morning. Of like, oh God. Hey Jaimie, good to see you. Rob Freed, good to see you, brother. Hope everything is good and you're doing well. Things are going pretty good. Yeah, pretty well. Not everything, of course. There's always things, ups and downs, but overall things are going pretty well. John Dillinger, I liked and subscribed. That's marvelous. Jemish G, polypropylene. Yeah, polypropylene ropes, you can use them in concrete. They will not react with the cement. Supposedly they should last a super long time. In the satellite, let's see. Hi, Mr. Morningwood. No, it's not morning here at the moment. If Jaimie was in a cave, it would be the one in Plato's allegory, which he returned to tell everyone what it was like outside. What happened to the really big boat? The one that was like a pontoon with blue. Oh, You mean that I did paint one of my boats blue recently. The one with the tiger stripes on it, the tiger shark slicer. It's like right outside, just doing nothing right now, being parked. Yeah, it's just chilling there. But yeah, it's doing great. I drive it frequently. It's an amazing boat. Today I was driving my little fast boat, the zombie chopper, because I wasn't taking any cargo anywhere. I was just driving around a little bit. I miss the trampoline room, dude. The trampoline room at my old house. That was amazing. Oh, that was so amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to get a trampoline here. I got to put my third floor up, and then I don't even know what trampoline I'm gonna get though, because like in my trampoline room in Vermont, I just used like a trampoline I found on Craigslist. I don't even know if I paid for it. They might have just been getting rid of it. But anyway, I just put up whatever trampoline. But when I get a trampoline for this house, when I get the third floor done, I'm making a gymnasium up there. I already have like gymnastics mats and a few like huge like mattresses, like sleeping mattresses that I'm just going to use for gymnastics mats. And, you know, hang all kinds of ropes for swinging around, just like a super cool gymnasium up there. And yeah, I want to have a really nice trampoline too. So not sure what trampoline I'm going to get yet, but I'll probably spend a bit of money on it, you know, try to get something really good. See, he really is wearing pants. I am wearing shorts, but yes, pants. Short pants. And these ones have holes, but they're covering all the important stuff. So all right, it looks like, oh wait. Oh no, I just reload. Okay, for some reason these comments are not loading. I have to keep reloading it, and every time I reload it, it goes to the bottom. All right, where was I? The really big bow. See, he is wearing pants. Okay, Jaimie. This is from Martin. Jaimie, long-time subscriber, but this is the first live I've seen. I enjoy your videos and your work ethic. Stay awesome. Well, thank you very much, Martin. I appreciate it. I do my best. I try real hard. Don't always do things right, but yeah, I appreciate the encouragement. That's excellent. Jaimie says something. Oh, Michelangelo-ish for the ceilings. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know. When I get up to the ceiling, I mean, I've got time before I start thinking about that. But yeah, I've got to put the third floor in, and then I'll have this massive ceiling up there, because from the third floor up, it's just dome ceiling, and it's like 2 stories tall. So I'm not sure what I'll paint up there, but something, maybe planets, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just stirring up Mr. Landfill. Oh, don't mess with Mr. Landfill. he's a serious guy, man. Romper room let out early. Let's see. I'm going to presume that those deleted messages were deleted for good reason. Are the kids looking forward to getting their own kayaks? Why, yes. One of my daughters has already claimed the second kayak I make. I claimed the first one because, you know, I wanted to make the first kayak for me so I can work out the kinks, and if there's anything wrong, you know, I have to deal with it, whatever. But yeah, one of my daughters is already claiming the second kayak and talking about what color she wants it to be. And then my son is like, I want the third one. So I told my kids I want to make 5 kayaks just for us, you know, before I might make some more for other people, but just for us, I want to make each one of us a kayak. Even my 3-year-old, who's not going to be able to use it for a while, like, no, I want to make us 5 kayaks. So yeah, they're definitely excited about that. Yes, it does look like a boot. I don't know. The IRS is unconstitutional. I'm gonna read this one extra. The IRS is unconstitutional. It's a fraud of the criminal international cabal. The IRS is a problem. I will agree with that. We're gonna move on before this gets deleted. There's also fiberglass rebar. Yeah, fiberglass rebar. I mean, obviously, I haven't found any here. I'd have to order it, but I don't know. Maybe I should get some. Fiberglass made in rebar shape costs more than ordinary rebar, but should last much longer. Yeah. Although the other thing is, like, if you're using fiberglass rebar, you can also just get fiberglass mesh. I did buy some fiberglass mesh, and then also fiberglass bits that you can mix into concrete. Are you married? I have children with a woman with whom I am not. What's the word? No, basically no. I am single and I have children. Ghost mommy, why are you available? Anyway, hey Jaimie, weird question. Do you believe in aliens? See anything weird out there? Oh man, I could go off on this for a while because I have some weird neighbors. I personally don't believe in anything. Like belief, I don't think, like belief just isn't part of my thought process. I'm kind of more of a statistics guy. So, like, I would say statistically, it is extremely likely that the floor is going to be under me 5 seconds from now. So I'm not going to worry about it. But I don't believe it's going to be there. I'm just saying, statistically, it's probably going to be there. So I'm just going to proceed as if the floor is going to continue being there. Now, in terms of aliens, I would wager that there are plenty of aliens out there. It would be like just looking at how big the universe is and how many stars and planets there are. It would be kind of crazy to think that like we're it and there's nothing else. Like that would be boring for one. But yeah, I have to presume that probably there are lots of aliens, and I don't know. But then of course, the Fermi paradox. Why don't we see aliens everywhere? Well, maybe they're not interested in us. Maybe they don't want us to know they're there. Maybe we're just luckily under their protection because other aliens would be like, look at those maggots. Let's just wipe them out. But some other aliens are like, well, those humans have potential. Let's just leave them free for a few more centuries and see if they develop into something. But if they start coming apart at the seams, yeah, just go in there and wipe them out and take over the planet. Who knows? But I would bet that there are aliens. Yeah. Seen anything weird out there? I have not seen anything weird out here. However, I have neighbors who will tell you about aliens that visit them and that blink lights at them, or like stand over them while they're sleeping and paralyze them to do I don't know what. I don't know. But yeah, crazy stories. Thank you. Let's see. Wait, message. Thank you for doing what you do. Well, thank you, John. You really are quite inspirational. Well, thank you. I do my best. I know. Probably like last year, I had a lot of difficulties, and I feel like I really let things slide. But I feel like I've been getting my mojo back, over the last few months. So I'm trying to do a good job. So thank you for the encouragement. Someone informing Ghost Mommy that I'm not married. Yes, I am single. I'm single, ladies. Do I have to put a shirt on? I'm single, but ladies, if you're interested in me, I'm going to wear no shirt a lot of the time. If I go out in public, I put a shirt on. Unless I go to the beach. Have you, crocodiles? I missed a few things. Do you miss snow? I wouldn't say I really miss snow, but I did enjoy snow when I was in snow. I used to build snow forts and igloos. I was about to say when I was a kid, but that lasted up until I was an adult, until I was not in the snow anymore. Yeah, snow is a lot of fun for like a few weeks, and then it's like, okay, I can't get anything done outside because everything is frozen. I gotta say, I really enjoy being in the tropics where all year I can go outside. Sometimes there's a rainstorm or whatever, but like generally speaking, all year I can work on things outside, which is nice. Now, one thing that was super cool about living in a cold environment was going out in the cold, working on stuff all day, or I don't know, whatever I could do in the cold, and then just coming in at the end of the day into my warm, toasty house, because my house in Vermont, it had a huge array of windows on the south-facing side, like 2 stories tall, and I think it was 40 feet, 12, 13 meters across, just like glass, and all south-facing. So in the winter, the sun just blazed into that. And I would often have to open the front door just to let cold air in because it would get so warm even in the winter. Now in the summer the sun was higher, so it didn't have such a strong effect. But in the winter it really heated up, and that was great. Just come in the house and it was just like toasty warm after being out in the cold. But I wouldn't say I miss the snow. I like this more. Crocodiles. I think you're asking if there are crocodiles here. There are caimans, which are like little crocodiles, but rarely seen. Have you invited someone back to your cave? People have visited my cave. If you're talking about ladies, I have not. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I've not had any lady visitors to my cave yet. I mean, there have been women in my house, but not like not like a lady. I invited. I'm kind of, what's the word? I'm kind of particular. I'm not into hookup culture at all. So like, if I don't want to just like invite ladies just randomly. I'm not into that at all. I've never been into that. Even when I was like going to university and doing sports and had a lot of options available, I was still never into the whole one night stand hookup culture thing. Sorry if it's been covered, but are you worried about the oceans possibly rising, being on an island, or is that outside of our lifetime? Well, that is definitely something that I think about. My house is like 2 meters above ocean level, so I should be okay for kind of a long time. However, I have a backup plan. I have this other land that's on one of the main islands that has a lot of elevation. And from the ocean, it slopes up very gradually. So even if the ocean comes up, it's not like it's going to erode everything away and just destroy everything. Because some houses around here I see, like right from the ocean, their land goes like almost straight up, and then they have their big house on top of that. And if the ocean level rises there, it's just going to eat away all the ground below, and then the whole house is going to fall in. But anyway, I have this land that should be able to withstand quite a bit of ocean level rise. But I think I'll be okay in this house for a while. Like I don't know how long. I don't know what the story is. Like either way, I don't know. But it is definitely something I think about. Now, when I think about living on the ocean versus living on like a mountain would be safer in terms of, ocean level rise because you're not near the ocean. However, then I shouldn't say me. This is relevant to me. Then I'm landlocked, which means I have to do land transportation, which means I have to be on a road, which means I need a license and registration and all this stuff that like I was saying earlier, I'm kind of anarchist. I don't want to have to ask permission to go somewhere. I don't want to have to ask permission I want to be able to build my own vehicle, like, which is much easier to do on the ocean, and traveling on the ocean, I find just so much nicer. It's slower than on a road, but it's so much nicer. The road is like miles wide. Everything is. I like it so much more being on the ocean. Let's see. You've only briefly touched on this, but what are your thoughts on having an angled running track, and how do you think will affect the concrete walls? Okay, so on the second floor, there's like my house is round, and the second floor, the floor just goes around the outside. So there's a big hole in the middle. So it's like a big donut up there. And right now, I've got most of the floor on the second floor made, and you can run around a circle on that. My kids run around circles on it. But on the outside edge, I'm gonna make it banked. So probably like that, maybe like 30 degrees up. So you can run along this circular thing around the whole building on a banked track. You can run pretty fast and not have a problem. And it'll be like running in heavy gravity, which will be amazing. I always thought it'd be cool to be able to train in heavy gravity. I often do workouts wearing like a weight vest and weights and stuff. Anyway, how do I think it will affect the concrete walls? Well, I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be fine. The thing about the circular running track is it's going to be connected to itself all the way around. Like it's going to be laminated strips of wood all the way around. So when I hit any one part of it, the the whole thing is going to kind of absorb the shock, and hopefully it won't shock the concrete too much. But it is definitely something I've thought about. Like how much of a shock is that going to put on the concrete if I'm running like full speed around this thing? Bam, 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 bam. Maybe I'll put some rubber between the concrete and the wood floor. There isn't any right now, but I could get something to lift it a little bit and put a piece of rubber in there to shock absorb, which I probably will do. I think that's a good idea to do. But I don't know. I'll have to see it running around, see how the building handles it. If it seems like it's no good, I'll just have to not use it. But hopefully it'll be all right. Wet layups are like painting a hood. What? I don't know. You talk about making fiberglass? Painting a hood. Yeah, I can. Okay, anyway. Harry Bloom says carnivore diet is meat, fish, eggs, butter, and lots of animal fat. I do eat a lot of animal fat. I think it's crazy that when I was a kid, if we cooked ground beef, we would like take the fat out and get rid of it. Oh, now I eat the whole thing. The big boat, Jamesh says, yes, I've made a whole bunch of boats here. I live on an island, so boat is basically my transportation, or swim. I haven't built a airplane yet or anything, but my big boat is a catamaran that I built. It's about 30 feet long, if I remember, so like 10 meters long and 10 feet wide, so like 3 meters wide. It has a bunch of solar panels on the roof and electric motor and some batteries and stuff. And then I have some smaller boats. I've built a bunch of different boats for different things. The walls he built look like the walls in the Washington, D.C. metro. They totally do. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the subway in D.C. I recall you got into game programming a while back. Do you still dabble? I do, but I haven't had any time to mess with anything in a while. So I made a few video games in the past. The last one I made was what was it called? It was just called Adventure Builder. And it's on itch.io, I think. And I don't know, there's a couple places. If you go to my website, which should be in the link down here, you can find the game. But I made a couple other games. And there's a sequel to Adventure Builder that I kind of started, played with, and it was working out the game mechanics. And, after finishing the first game, I learned a lot, and I like streamlined a lot of stuff. And the second one is a 2-player game. That's probably the biggest difference between the first game and the second game. The first one's just a 1-player game, but the second one is a 2-player game, which brings in a whole bunch of things like when the two characters are farther apart, the screen zooms out so you can still see them, and when they get closer together, the screen zooms in, so and stuff like that. Anyway, I haven't played with it in a while. Let's see. You have only been on YouTube 4 weeks. Wait a bit. That's to someone else. Anyway. Wait, me? Kid Goku. Ha. Yes, you, Kid Goku. Kid Goku. Oh, can I be a mod? I missed that comment. I don't know, Kid Goku. You might be able to be a mod. I don't know you that well. If you've only been on YouTube for a few weeks. Yeah, I feel like I need to... Like, if I see you here for a while and you're being cool, like Mr. Landfill, he's a moderator on here. And he was like in the lives talking and being cool for a while before I was like, hey, can I add you as a moderator, But I don't want to add moderators that I don't know, because who knows what kind of trouble. I don't know. Bro is in a bunker? I'm sort of in a bunker. Are you under a bridge? Not that comment again. It's a special kind of bridge called a house. This is my house. Okay, everyone who wants to know what kind of weird house I'm in right now, just go watch the Adventure Builder movie. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just skip to like 3/4 of the way through it, and you'll see me like I build the house during the movie. And, get to the end, you'll see the house. Sir, do you need help? Me? I mean, I don't need help, but I can always use some kind of help. Actually, people on here have helped me a lot. Like, people donate on Patreon, and I get donations on, just to, what's it called? My PayPal and stuff like that. And sometimes people send me stuff off my Amazon wish list, which is amazing, and all that stuff. So I do get help, actually, from you guys a lot, which is super cool. Hunter says taxes are voluntary. They're voluntary until you don't pay them. And then, depending on what country you're in, of course, they should be voluntary. I think taxes should totally be voluntary. But they are not. Oh, you get in trouble if you don't pay them. Let's see. So many new people to YouTube. Am I getting troublemakers? Always good to see your videos. Thanks, man. Cheers, Kimba. John Pookie, he is in a house he built. I am in a house I built. It's a 4-story dome. So, there's more to it than that, but that's the basics. Love everything you build. Wondering how many feet will you have between the ceiling and the 3rd floor? Enough room to jump on a trampoline, I guess. Yes. It's like 16 feet, something like that. Somewhere around there. I've not measured exactly. It also depends on the thickness of the 3rd floor itself. But yeah, somewhere around 16 feet. Enough to jump on a trampoline. However, I should be able to jump on the trampoline, get a good jump, and be able to grab the steel frame of the dome up there. Let's see. Aliens are future humans. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some aliens that have nothing to do with humans. Have you thought about making a giant periscope on top of the dome to see the area? Not really, because if I go up to the top of the dome, I can see pretty far. I have, however, thought about just making a tower up on the hill behind my house. The trees are not that tall. Well, actually, there are some tall trees on my island, but they're down further, like right up at the top of the hill behind my house. There are no tall trees up there, so I could make a tower and get above the tree line and just see in all directions pretty easily. Let's see. Stargate SG-1 are documentaries. Oh, that was a great show. MacGyver and Stargate. Great shows, man. Good job. What's his name? Richard Dean Anderson? Yeah, I love that guy. So true are the X-Files. You are kind of remote. I am kind of remote. I do get internet though. Let's see, where was I? Just had to reload this. Please tell me, do you think that obscene language is a sign of defective thinking in a person? No, I don't think it is necessarily. Yeah, obscene language, this is kind of a funny question. I think that obscene language can be a sign of a lot of things. Obscene language can be hilarious in the right settings. But if someone to look at someone's speech and think it's a sign of defective thinking in a person, it doesn't actually have to include like obscene language. Like it could just be something where the person, like they're just not speaking clearly. But I don't know. There's a lot to that question. Global warming is a scam. The Earth is going to cool down. Raising seas is a hoax. That would be beautiful. I would love the ocean to go down a bit, because then I get a whole bunch more land. That would be cool. Although my boat would be stuck. I'd have to dig my canal out deeper so I could get in and out. So hopefully whatever happens, if the sea goes up or down, hopefully it happens slowly enough that I can, react appropriately. it would be really cool to know that, though. To know if the sea is going to basically stay where it is, or if it's going to go up or down, and when, because then I could plan things better. But, you know, things happen and you just kind of got to deal with it. Have you noticed any rise in ocean level since you've been there? I don't know. You know, it's hard to say. Maybe, I don't know. Like nothing. Yeah, it's hard to say because, like, you know, the ocean level goes up and down. And last year, there was a point for a month or so where there were really, really unusually high tides. And I was thinking, oh man, is that just going to be the thing now? But it wasn't. It was just a momentary thing. You know, lasted a few months, and then the rest of the year, the tides were normal, and the tides have been normal since then. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I just eat a big steak dinner. Ed, I think you just ate a big steak dinner, but that sounds great. Been a fan for many years. Thanks, man. Hi to you from Kenny. Kenny, is that a Kenny that I know? I wonder, because I do know a Kenny. Twisted chains are different from roller chains. Twisted chains are different from roller chains. Okay, I don't know. The Adventure Builder movie is awesome, everybody. Oh, well, thanks, Vasku. I have gotten good feedback on the Adventure Builder movie. There are some things that I would like it to have music. I wanted it to have music, but I don't have sufficient skills at this time to score the movie myself. And then there are a few other things that could have been edited. A few things I could have added, just like short little things, I think. But I don't know. I think for a lot of it, no one else would have cared except me. You know, when you make something yourself and you're hyper aware of like every detail, I think a lot of it, no one else would notice. What do you most want? Lois, what do I most want? Well, I feel like I have a lot of the things I want already. The first thing that comes to mind is a girlfriend. But like not just any girlfriend, you know, it's got to be one that has a positive attitude, which is a scarce thing these days. But yeah, in terms of like generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Like I love my kids. I have so much fun with them, and just the whole relationship I have with them is very rewarding. And I wake up in the morning with purpose and things to do that I feel good about. And, you know, I get to the end of the day and I feel like I've been productive. So I feel like, I mean, like obviously there are things that I want, but for the most part, there are things that I want to work for. Like I wouldn't want someone to just like snap their fingers and magically make me a bunch of stuff that I'm working on. Because then I'd be like, oh, come on, man, what am I going to do now? I mean, I would just start some new projects, but I do enjoy the process of doing things. Necessarily. Like, I have to enjoy the process of doing things. Otherwise, I'd go crazy. I wouldn't do them. But like, you know, just going through the pain and the anguish, the agonizing agony of taking on a project bigger than I can do, and then forcing myself to grow to meet that challenge. I think that's a super important part of life. So yeah, I guess in terms of what do I most want, in terms of things that could just show up by luck, it would be like companionship. But other than that, like I want to continue doing the things I'm doing. I really, really enjoy them. Even when it's horribly painful and difficult. Hey, Jaimie, all right. What happened to the houseboat? The houseboat is long gone at this point. Are you still buying fiberglass resin in 55-gallon drums, or have you moved to the smaller size containers for easier use? I have not bought a 55-gallon drum of fiberglass resin in quite a while. To do the kayaks, I just bought a few gallon jugs because it's not that much. To make one kayak, it's like 4.5 gallons. So I guess if I was making enough kayaks, I could get a whole drum, but I'm not going to make that many. If every other word is F, so I think this is about the question earlier is, what was it? Is basically, is bad language a sign that someone screwed up in the head? Yeah, if every other word is F, then yeah, maybe. Insano, what's up, Captain Insano? One mind could fix global warming. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of problems today that could be fixed so easily. Like the way we deal with the environment and just pollution and garbage. Just like stop making so much garbage. Plan ahead. Just stop disposable culture. We just need to get rid of disposable culture and make things to last. That would fix so many problems. And then in terms of things like personal relationships, between people have kind of gotten to like a really bad state. And I was looking on Reddit today for, I don't know, I was looking at something, but when you turn on Reddit, like a bunch of stuff just comes up, and there are all these it's just like endless people complaining about their spouse, men complaining about their wives complaining about their husbands, and most of it is just like dumb, petty garbage that's just not important. And then you read the comments, and all these people are like, yeah, he's horrible or she's horrible, and it's just like, yeah, fight, and it's mental. Like, that is a sign that something is wrong with people's brains, where people's idea of personal relationships between a man and a woman is like this conflict, like this contest between them. That's a really bad thing that needs to be fixed. And not because it's just a problem in their relationship with each other. It's a problem for raising children, because children are not being raised well anymore. They haven't been for quite a while, and that's a huge problem in the society. When you have kids that are not raised well, those kids grow up to be terrible parents themselves and become terrible leaders of society. And yeah, a lot of problems could be fixed by fixing relationships, just general relations between men and women, and bringing back parenting. But anyway, there's a lot of problems that can be fixed very easily. If you look at historic photos of the Statue of Liberty and compare them to pictures today, the water level really has not changed much. Yeah, you got to make sure you're always looking at the same tide. And the tides are kind of complicated. You can't just say, oh, it was high tide this day. It's got to be like the maximum high tide of one year versus the maximum high tide of another year, to really get an idea of how that's going. Anyway, next comment was, tides are weird. There are so many things off this planet that have massive effect on them. Yeah. You should release a remaster of your Adventure Builder movie in the future. Well, maybe I should. Well, I would kind of like to redo the Adventure Builder movie. Add a couple scenes that I think would be good, and then add music. I think if I added music to it, it would be worth, redoing it. Free electricity. Your kids are. Let's see. I do. Wait, what is this? I do that, but it's from working many years with men that do the same. I missed something there. Anyway, what is your so-called spiritual perspective? Okay, you want to know my spiritual perspective? How do I explain this? I don't have any beliefs. Like, I don't believe in anything. I guess my spiritual perspective is, I'm a biological creature, and just based on what a biological creature is, I try to do my best as a biological creature. So part of that involves if I've been given good genetic code, I need to make sure I pass that on, and give that to the future, because I got that for free, and I need to make sure whatever. Although if I had bad genetics, I would not have children. Anyway, so I feel like I have pretty good genetics, so I've had a bunch of kids that hopefully will carry those genetics into the future. And I don't know, it's like I just try to do a good job, This is one of those questions where you should have asked at the beginning, because I could go, it's a big can of worms. What is your spiritual perspective? There's a lot of different pieces of this. One thing that I think is important to realize is that fame, regardless of how long it's going to last, is unimportant. Because 1 billion years from now, no one's going to remember any of us existed. So what's important is not that you are remembered. What's important is that you do what will make you feel good about yourself every day. And when I say feel good about yourself, I don't mean like eat chocolate ice cream all day because it's tasty and it makes you feel good. No, I mean, because you'll feel terrible about yourself after that. I mean, feel good about yourself, like you've done a good job, like you are a good person. I think it's important to every day try to do your best and leave every day feeling that you didn't waste it, and you did a good job, and you brought more value into the world than you took away. So, don't lie, don't be a jerk, try to do a good job in whatever you're doing, try to be kind and all that stuff. I mean, that scratches the surface a little bit. How's the fart tank project going? Well, the fart tank leaks and I have to seal it, which I'm going to do with fiberglass because I have all this fiberglass out. So it's just the lid, which I kind of glued shut, but didn't, whatever. I can fiberglass it closed. But, I haven't done it because I've just been doing other things. Chris says, I think I know where you're going with this. The more anonymous people are, the more you see how they truly think, because they are not putting facades in fear of being confronted. That's true. Yeah, anonymity on the internet is kind of a terrible thing. One good thing about it, though, is that you get to see what a person is really like, even if you don't know who it is. Because, when people are anonymous, crappy people feel like they can get away with being as crappy as they want, and then they do crappy things. Let's see. Hello, where are you? I'm in Panama. I'm off the coast of Panama on a little island. Just a daily reminder. Oh, God. Jesus. Praying. Okay, spiritual creature living in a physical existence. That's correct. Jesus. Okay, here's my thoughts on the whole God thing. And Jesus and, I don't know, any of that stuff. If I'm going to be judged by some mystical creature, God, whatever, they can judge me based on how well I live my life. I think it's insanely silly for any God or any deity of any kind to demand that we worship them. That doesn't make sense. Like, could you imagine being you children need to worship me? Like, I gotta question what kind of God would do that. Like, if I'm going to think that there's some kind of God who's going to judge me at the end of my life, they can judge me on how I lived, not like how I tried to suck up by making some monuments or whatever. So that whole thing never made sense to me. Like, religious people who think that, you have to believe the right thing, and then you can get away with anything while you're living, and treat everyone terrible, whatever, because you'll get forgiveness as long as you believe. No. I think it's important to live a good life, be a good person, and then if there's some God who's going to judge me, they can judge me based on that. Do I feel my age? I guess. I mean, I'm 49, and I guess whatever age I am, I feel that. But I don't. If you mean, do I feel like old? I don't feel old yet. Yeah, I don't feel like old at all. Like, I can still run around and do all the stuff I've always done. I ran out of hair up on my head, but and my hair is grayer. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like pretty much the same. A few wrinkles here and there, but like everything still functions. Everything still works the same as it always did. So, I think probably a lot of that has to do with just I've been exercising all my life and trying to eat well, don't smoke or anything. I don't know. Nathan says, I've been thinking of doing some fiberglass work. I looked into resin and found it to be quite expensive. I wonder if I'm looking at the wrong resin. What resin do you use? Epoxy is super expensive, but polyester resin, $20 a gallon-ish. If I buy like a full tank of it, and obviously prices will change depending on where you are. But I'm in a pretty remote place. Like this is not the easiest place to get stuff. So your prices should not be more expensive than they are here. Actually, as far as I understand, you can get a full tank, like a 55-gallon drum, which guarantees 50 gallons. So it doesn't guarantee 55 gallons, but they guarantee there's between 50 and 55. So anyway, as far as I know, you can get those from the fiberglass place for $500 each, which would be $10 a gallon for polyester resin. I pay like double that here, but it's harder to get here. Well, if I buy a full tank, I'll get it for like $800, which is like $16 a gallon. Anyway, I don't know what price you're getting. Hopefully it's around there. Thanks for the live, Jamie. Keep being awesome. Keep being you, bro. Well, thanks, Pete. Yes, let's take a good look at the kayak. I will take a good look in the morning when there's light out. I gotta try and get it right. I don't want to go through all this again. This is about the spiritual thing. So Nathan is thinking of doing some fiberglass work. Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't be more than like $20-ish per gallon. Or you're just looking in the wrong place, for polyester resin. Epoxy is a lot more expensive. The Adventure Builder principles are a good baseline. Oh no, something just moved. Oh yeah, here we go. New viewers should check them out. Yeah, I guess if you're going to talk about my spiritual thing, I came up with this thing called the Adventure Builders Club, which isn't really a club. It's more of just like a basic set of instructions, like behavioral instructions. And so there's like a set of 8 virtues: honesty, honor, strength, imagination, humility, a bunch of stuff. And it's just like eight virtues I try to live by. I do my best to adhere to them. And I've been doing it for quite a while, and I found that sticking to them leads me down a pretty good path. And it's really useful to have that kind of simplified morality, because it helps you make decisions. Because sometimes you're faced with a decision where you're like, I don't have time to really think about what I should be doing because there's a lot of stuff going on here. But if you have some kind of morality that has basic virtues, often it becomes very clear which decision sticks to those basic virtues. And it's like, okay, I'll just trust that. I'll just do the decision that follows my basic virtues, which I thought about when I had time to really think about it. And I decided those are what I should follow. So now whenever I have a decision I don't really have time to think about, I have a guideline. So that's what's really useful about having like a moral, a set of like moral virtues or principles to live by. Okay, earlier Lois says, earlier you mentioned companionship. Who would be compatible with you? Well, a woman who has a. This is not the easiest question to answer. Who would be compatible with? Okay, a woman who is physically healthy, because like I'm a very active person. To just to be in my life, like you got to be healthy. Like, I have nothing against people who are obese or whatever, but that just wouldn't work here. Plus, I wouldn't be attracted to that because I'm very into fitness, right? So it's got to be someone who's healthy and has a positive attitude. hasn't been defeated by life yet, you know? Because you know a lot of people, they get to a certain point in their life and they've just become jaded and hateful. um, I've gone through a lot of crap, but I haven't become jaded yet. Like there have been times where I've been like, man, I don't know, this might be it. But I've always come out the other side with a positive attitude and been like, all right, I got through that. Let me see what other, you know, I'm always kind of aiming in the positive direction. So it was really good to be with someone who has that kind of positive general attitude. And it doesn't mean they always have to be super happy and jumping off the walls all the time. Just a generalized positivity, you know. Even when I'm down, I'm still kind of aiming toward positive stuff. And someone who is a giver, because I'm a giver, and one of the problems I've had in past in relationships, and anyone who's a giver will know what I'm talking about. Like when you're a giver and you end up in a relationship with a taker, oh, it gets oh, exhausting and horrible very quickly. But I talked to someone recently who is a giver, and he's like, I married a giver, and it's amazing. We just constantly want to take care of each other, and it's just amazing to be in that situation. Because when you're a giver, you feel good about taking care of someone else, about giving to them. And not even necessarily like gifts or stuff, just like giving your time and energy, like putting energy into the other person. Like that makes me feel good. And if I could be with someone else who is like that, then I would be taken care of, and they would be taken care of, and you know, it would just be a really good thing. But I've not been in relationships with many givers. I'm trying to think back. Most of the relationships I've been in have been with people who are more on the taking side of things, and that's something that happens to givers a lot, because givers attract takers, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, someone happy and healthy, positive attitude, generally speaking, likes challenges. This doesn't always even have to be doesn't always have to be happy, you know, but like up for a challenge, healthy and all that, you know. Likes kids, has to like kids. I would love to have more kids too. That would be great. I'm totally up for that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I could go on for a while. Sean says, I spent 10 hours doing fiberglass on my sailboat today. Oh, man, that's brutal, isn't it? No time to listen, off to bed, more work tomorrow. Sean, before you go to bed, if you're still listening, do some stretches, man. Man, 10 hours of fiberglass, that'll leave your back in knots a few days in a row. Do some stretches before you go to bed, and it'll make a big difference the next day. I bought an Adventure Builder shirts when you were still up north. Man, that was a while ago. Yeah, I used to paint Adventure Builder shirts myself until I got a couple complaints, not even necessarily about the shirts. One lady just kept harassing me about when she was going to get the shirt, and I'm like, just give me a few days. You know, I don't make them every day. I'm just a guy hanging out, and I paint these by hand, you know, with a stencil. Like, so I do them like once every couple of weeks, and it's just like every day. Where's my shirt? Where's my shirt? When's it coming? When's it coming? I'm just like, whoa. And then this other lady, she bought a shirt and sent it back with like a really mean note saying, I don't know, it was like she didn't know what she was getting. I don't know. And then after that, I started just getting Spreadshirt to make them, because God, the grief. Anyway, how's your homemade freezer thing doing? It's doing pretty good, actually. I've recently been seeing 12-volt, 100-amp-hour batteries for only $175. That's a pretty good price, man. It's tempting to just start buying them with the thought of going off-grid. Man, I love living off-grid. What is the spiritual square root of -1? That's the spiritual square root of -1. I stick to the 10 commandments most of the time. That should do the trick. I will let you know. You know, I could name some of them. Thou shalt not kill or steal or covet thy neighbor's goods. I don't remember them. Yeah, I don't know all the 10 commandments. But they're probably a pretty good guy, generally speaking. I'd have to look at them. Let's see. That's quite helpful info on the resin. Thanks. Yes, I was hoping that would be helpful. Where is blood? I don't know what that means. All right. I'm going to get off here in a minute. Oh, a whole bunch more comments. Every time I reload the comments, there's a whole bunch that have not loaded. It's not about price. Okay, I'm going to skip through these pretty quick because I've been on for 2 hours and someone's going to get sick of me any minute. Pearl Diver. I don't know what that means. LSD. I do not do any drugs. I know, but it's kind of like stacking pressure. Let's see. What do you think about Aliens? Oh, that is a great movie. Oh, I love that movie. So last night we had movie night. My 5-year-old picked Alien, which I've been recommending to my kids to not choose Alien or Aliens because those movies are kind of scary. But like a couple months ago, we watched The Tomorrow War, you know, with those white monsters with all the spikes and stuff. And after that movie, I was a little hesitant. I was like, I don't want to give my kids nightmares. But they watched that, and after, they're running around the house talking about riding the Octodogs. And that's what they were calling the aliens in these movies. I might have actually came up with that name. But anyway, they're calling them the Octodogs. I think they were called the White Spikes or something in the movie. But anyway, the Octodogs, because they look like big dogs with like 8 limbs, because there were like 4 tentacles and 4 legs. So anyway, they thought these scary, horrible aliens were cute and they'd be fun to ride around. So I was like, I guess they can watch Alien and Aliens. They're not going to be scared. So yeah, they watched Alien last night. They weren't scared at all. They're probably going to watch Aliens soon. But if you're talking about aliens in general, I don't know. I don't think about aliens that much because I'm busy doing stuff. If aliens show up, I'll be like, hey, what's up? But who knows? Who knows what kind of intentions they would have if they come? Depends on the aliens. I do like Star Trek and Star Wars and all that stuff. Okay. I don't feel that there's a choice but to be positive. Negativity is not an option for me. Bethany, that is excellent. That is an excellent attitude because negativity is definitely a choice for a lot of people, and it is not a good thing. Man, so many problems in the world could be fixed if more people chose positivity, even when things are at their worst. You know, I was telling a story at the beginning of this live about a fairly dire situation that could have gone really badly. But, you know, just keeping a positive attitude through the whole thing. You know, we figured it out and got through it and then had a laugh after. Man, if we had a negative attitude about things like that, life would be horrible. Okay, the Adventure Builder ring is very useful to review and think about how to make better choices in life. Thanks for creating it and putting it out there. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I have my Adventure Builder ring up there. It's got all the 8 virtues on it. And sometimes when I'm feeling a little lost, I'll just put it on and wear it for a couple hours. You look at it once in a while and just kind of get my head straight, you know? I find it really useful. Bethany says, I totally know what you're going to say. I'm a giver and I find myself giving too much, that being taken advantage of and being bitter about it, then wishing we could all be givers, etc. Yeah. When you're a giver and you're in a relationship with a taker, it's so brutal. And someone who's not a giver will not understand what I'm talking about. But any people who are givers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's exhausting and brutal and demoralizing, and it's just horrible. And you know, people who aren't givers will just say, well, just say no. Just don't, you know. But it's like, no, I don't want to have that negativity in me. Like for me to not be trying to help my friends, or particularly if I'm in a relationship with a woman, if I'm in a close relationship with her, for me to not have an overwhelming positive thing toward her, that just kills me. I can't do that. Like, I want to be helpful, you know. And you know, I've learned that helpful doesn't always mean jumping in there. Sometimes helpful means standing back and watching and whatever. But just being helpful. Like I always want to be helpful. Oh, okay, you guys are talking about batteries. Totally. Putting your time and energy into helping someone else is so incredibly fulfilling for a giver. It is so great. Yeah, but unless that person is a taker and takes it for granted, then it just flips it on its head and is brutal. But yeah, like givers, we just want to help. We just want to take care of someone. We want to share our love and give. Give or subtract takers. What a shame that is, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of times a giver ends up with a taker. And I was talking to that guy recently who said, yeah, he married a giver and he's a giver. And man, he gave it just a glowing review of the entire situation. It sounded pretty awesome. Uh, Monotheism, the original adventure builder philosophy. Except part of the adventure builder philosophy is not to believe something. It's honesty. Always seek the truth, but also humility. Never think that you have the truth. It's like always striving for something that you can't actually get. Once you think you know something, for instance, you know that there's this God and this happens and blah blah blah. It's like it's kind of an arrogant thing to think that you know God and you know the stuff. Like, I don't know. I think it's better to just focus on the world around you. Don't worry about the big stuff too much. Do you ever come to Indianapolis? I do not. I have not been in the United States in like 10 years. Yeah, not since I left originally. I've been in Panama the whole time. Um, Maybe you should come visit here. Send me an email. People come to visit here sometimes. Um, Thanks for your time, Jaimie. Keeping awesome. Well, thanks, Vasco. I still love that name. Mr. Landfill, I try. Thank you, Mr. Landfill, for being an excellent moderator. You are. Yeah, it's beauty. You saved me. You saved me a lot of headaches. It is very appreciated. I probably don't say that enough. How many batteries do you use to power your house? I have 8 lead acid batteries that are not new. But my house doesn't need a lot of electricity. Like at night, the refrigerator is the only thing that's on. And maybe a light and a little fan. I'm not running power tools at night, and I have enough solar panels to kind of keep things, topped up in the daytime, even if I'm using power tools and stuff. Although I make sure I don't use power tools if it's like cloudy or late in the day, because I want to make sure I always have full charge batteries before night starts. Sounds like Taoism. Taoism. Go on, Lois. I find it extremely hard to determine if someone is a giver or taker initially. I mean, within the first weeks. Why is that, I wonder? Well, Bethany, it might be because you're so busy trying to give. Yeah, that's a question I've wondered about too. Like, I think part of the problem is, for a giver, when you first meet someone, you give them benefit of the doubt, right? At least I do. Like I give people benefit of the doubt. I want to be helpful to them and useful. Although I've learned to kind of not be so helpful with people who are strangers. I'm kind of very much more reserved than I used to be, because I've often found that when I'm helpful to strangers, they just want to take advantage of that and stuff. So I kind of hold back on that when I meet people now. But when you meet people, you kind of give them benefit of the doubt, and you hope they're also like you. They want to help you as much as you want to help them. So it's really easy to, until you get confirmation, to presume the best of people. That's one of the things that positive people and givers kind of do. Have you ever looked into wood gas generators? Yes, but I don't have any combustion engines, so I don't know. Solar panels are amazing, and yeah, I've been really enjoying electric stuff. Francis says, I started watching you a long time ago. Since then, I've been through a lot and become Catholic. I wish I could explain to you why it's cool and fun to think about, but don't know how. All the best. Well, I mean, I can understand the idea of, being into a god and just having that kind of like presence, like even if it's just in your own head, just having some magical god just kind of keep an eye on you. I totally understand that. One of the meditations I do, so maybe this goes with my spirituality too a little bit. When I'm feeling stressed and tense, I'll close my eyes and I'll imagine the sun is like sending out all this energy, which it is, and the earth is like sort of collecting this energy and manicuring it and turning it into life, and all that is happening. All that's true. But then I imagine the earth is like emanating this sort of magical energy out of itself, and if I can relax, it comes into me and fills me with like energy, So it's sort of a way to trick myself into relaxing, to kind of force myself to relax. But it's also this thing where the sun and the earth are like almost personified. Like the sun is like this universe father that's bringing home the bacon. It's sending all the energy. And then the earth is like this universe mother that's like just giving me this specific stuff, like taking the resources and turning it into life so I can breathe and eat and do all this stuff. And then like the whole thing makes me relax, and then I feel amazing after. Like I feel energized and relaxed, and it's really good. And it helps, like if I'm feeling lonely and stressed and all that. It's good. Have your kids played Minecraft? Not at all. They play real life. I build these toys, unusual, yes, but I can test your eye-hand coordination. Ability to take direction. Fasting used to be in the Bible. When you look closely, you see that it really is a reaction to modern society, Neolithic society. Okay, this is all getting into all kinds of stuff. All I get is ringing in my ears. Tinnitus. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I hope everyone is having a marvelous day, Mother's Day. If you don't have Mother's Day today, I hope you have a marvelous whatever you've got. Morning, evening, lunchtime. Ooh, I bet someone right now is eating a delicious lunch. There's no real silence deep in the sea. That is true. I do enjoy the crickets. Until one gets in the house and it's super loud. Anyway, all right, I'm getting out of here. Where's the button? It's over here now. Stop streaming.